Hey guys, my name is Jennifer Dixon, and today I thought I would talk to you a little bit about the different types of yoga that you might see, specifically the different types of yoga that we offer here in the studio. So, several times a week we get phone calls or emails to the studio asking us what kinds of yoga we offer. Do we have any yoga for beginners? What do each of these yogas mean? And we definitely have a description of our yoga classes online, but sometimes that's not necessarily the easiest thing to understand. And so I just thought I would chat with you just for a few minutes to discuss what each of these types of yoga mean to us here at the studio. So, first of all, I want to start with, we'll start out with a little bit more of a vigorous type of yoga practice. Those are the ones that are moving a little bit more. And we'll end up with a little bit more of the relaxing classes. And then I'll talk about two specific kind of like special fun types of yoga. So, the first yoga type that I want to talk about is the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga was brought to us back in the 70s by Patabi Joyce and is being carried on by several of his students, by his son Manju Joyce, who is my teacher, and by his grandson Sharat, still over in India. So Ashtanga is a series of poses, of set poses, and they have so many poses, and then that's one sequence, and then you have another sequence. The majority of people stay in the first three sequences. Honestly, the majority of people stay in the first and second. When you train with Manju, he does a little bit different than like some of the other schools of thoughts where he lets you dip into the first, second, and third series and kind of do what you want to do because that's just it. Yoga is a very personal, it's a spiritual practice and it's a personal practice, right? And so, since I'm a student of Manju's, that's the way that I approach the practice. And so, when you come to an Ashtanga class, a led class, you might have some of the primary, you might have the second. Some days we might do a little bit of both. We might do a little bit of even the third series in a class, and that's just because that's the way that I like it. That's the way that I was trained, and so that's what I want to offer to the students. Other schools of thought are a little bit more rigid, so you can't do C until you can do A and B. If that's what you're looking for, awesome. There are definitely tons of Ashtanga teachers out there that teach that way. That's just not the way that I practice or teach, to be honest. The next type of yoga that I want to talk about is power yoga. This Ashtanga and Power are my two favorites. I was trained up north under a Baptiste certified studio. So there are lots and lots of different ideas and philosophies on what exactly is power yoga. I know that one individual says he made the term up. I don't want to get into that. So, what is power yoga when you come to the studio, when you come and you practice with me? Power yoga is yoga from a very physical from like a more fitness thought point, right? So when you are lifting weights, do you just do 15 bicep curls really, really fast? No. You go up slowly and then you go down slowly. You go with a lot of control. So a power yoga class, at least at when you're practicing with me and here at the studio, you're going to find that we move a little more slowly with more intention with the desire to build strength. So you're going to build the flexibility because we're hot, because you're building internal heat, that agni, but you're going to build strength too because you're holding the poses for an extended amount of time. It can be some more complex, some less complex poses. In a typical all level power yoga class, it really should be all levels. It shouldn't be tons and tons of, we're not going to be walking across the room on our hands. None of that. There might be a little bit of time for you to play with more intermediate or advanced poses, but it's really and truly designed to help you get your exercise. So build some strength, build some flexibility. In most power yoga classes, like the ones that I teach, you'll be burning several calories. I get 350 to 450 calories in each hour long class. If that's what you're looking for in your yoga class, is like an alternative to like a good run or an elliptical workout, then a power yoga class might be for you. So let's contrast that with a Vinyasa class or a flow type class. Power classes are going to be a little more geared towards strength building exercises. So what does that mean? You're going to get into a pose like chair pose and you're going to hold it for 3 to 5 breaths. That's building strength. A vinyasa class is a little bit more movement based. So you're going to be moving with your breath like what they would do perhaps in like a Ashtanga class at the beginning of the class when you're moving through your sun salutations. Each pose is with a breath. In a flow class, you're going to move with your breath and you're going to move a little more dynamically. So you may move into and out of a posture with each inhale and exhale. The benefit of this posture is one, it's never boring. Two, it can be very challenging to make sure that you breathe because oftentimes we'll get to moving so fast you forget to breathe, and then the next thing you know you're out of breath, you're huffing and puffing, you're trying to catch your breath because you're forgetting to breathe. So vinyasa classes are a little more flowy. It's a little bit more, I hate to say dance because then I'm going to get so many comments about, it's not a dance. No, you're just going to move a little more quickly than you would perhaps in a power class here at the studio. The next class I want to talk to you that we offer is Yin class. And hands down, Yin is the single most popular class that we offer here at the studio. It's a deeply, deeply, deeply relaxing class. It's designed specifically to help you to get into the fascia, the connective tissue that we hold in our bodies. And the main areas is our hips, our chest, and our shoulders. So most of the poses are designed specifically to help you to open up into these big major muscle groups. The thing about Yin is that hardly any of the poses are done on your feet. So you're mostly seated or in a prone position. So it can be intense, but it's also very relaxing because you're able to lay down and just breathe into these postures. So if you are a super tight person, like somebody that's been playing football forever or a very, very active, fit person, Yin may not be the most relaxing thing to you on the planet at first because your body muscles are not used to it, right? They're like, holy crap, what is this person trying to get me to do? I've been tight for my whole life. Yin, with time and practice, as you learn how to breathe into the stretches, your body will relax and it'll allow you to open up a little bit more. And it just is an excellent class to help to build mobility, to regain mobility, and to keep us moving, right? So contrasting that with restorative is also along the lines of a more restful type of yoga practice. The difference is in a restorative class, you are completely supported the whole time. So in a Yin class, you may sit in cobbler's pose with your feet together, your knees down, and hold this for several minutes. And this can be very intense if you have very, very tight inner thighs. In a restorative class, the majority of the poses are in, again, a prone position. You're laying down, but everything is completely supported. You have bolsters, you have blankets, you have neck pillows, eye pillows, you name it, straps, everything. The goal of a restorative class is to get you to completely unwind, to completely relax. It's less about mobility and restorative and more about actually taking a break and resting. The last two types of classes that we offer, which are super fun, are aerial yoga and children's yoga. Aerial yoga is a newer practice that takes your favorite practice, yoga. It combines with a few silks hanging from the ceiling and throw in a few like circus moves and you've got aerial yoga. It's a lot of fun. It can be challenging because you're holding your body weight up maybe with your arms sometimes or using your abdominal muscles, but it's a lot of fun. The final class is children's yoga. Children's yoga is awesome. The more and more studies are coming out today talking about how when our children are taught to breathe, to slow down, to disconnect themselves, because our children are always on something, on either an iPad or a telephone, it helps them to relax. It helps to take away stress. Yes, our kids are stressed. And then it can also help them to focus. So children's yoga is great for kids of all ages. I have a daughter who's just turned 3, and she loves to come and practice yoga with me. You can do children's yoga from a very young age all the way up through their teens until when they're ready to join a regular class. The children take to yoga, what is it that our teacher says, like ducks to water. They love to do it. They love to move. They love to have fun. And we love to provide that sort of environment for them. So I hope that I have been able to explain a little bit more about the different types of yoga classes that we offer and maybe dispel any sort of fears that you might have or anything like that. Yoga is for everybody, no matter where you are in life, whether you're 3 years old or 75, 85 years old, there is a yoga practice for you. And if you ever want to start a yoga practice, now is the time to do it. Don't wait, don't hesitate, just start. Call the studio, you can come by, you can leave a comment down below, and I would love to help to guide you in the right direction to help you find the perfect yoga class for you. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about yoga classes.